What would happen if there were no power for 90 days? What would you eat? No stove, no stable water, no time to prepare. You open your cabinet, it is still full. But after a few days, you begin to realize something. You have food, but you cannot use it the way you thought. In this video, I will share 12 essential foods that can help you sustain through 90 days without power, but not in the way you have been preparing. This is not a list of what to eat. These are the things that actually work when your body is tired, when you lack water, when you are no longer in a normal state. And item number 7 on this list. Many people already have it at home, but use it completely wrong. And when you need it most, you will realize it does not help you the way you think. Watch until the end. Because this is not about food. This is about whether you keep going or you stop sooner than you think. 12. Peanut butter. Peanut butter, a stable source of energy that helps you stay alert when you do not have a complete meal, cannot cook, and have no time to prepare. Just a small amount can keep your body from dropping too quickly, and that is the difference between having food and still being able to function. An unopened jar can last from 1 to 2 years. After opening it usually lasts about 3 to 6 months under stable conditions. But in reality, what matters is not time, but temperature. Many people keep peanut butter right on the kitchen shelf, and that is often the hottest place in the house. Heat causes the oil to separate. Oxygen gets in. The fats begin to change. You can still eat it, but it no longer provides stable energy like before, and you will not notice it immediately. You just feel a little more tired, a little slower, and that is how the body declines without clear warning signs. To make it actually work when you need it, you only need to keep the basics right. Cool, dark, sealed. If the environment is hot, place it lower, inside a closed cabinet. Avoid direct light. These small details do not make it better. They keep it from losing value before you use it. The way you use it is not to eat until full, but to maintain rhythm, a small spoon when you start to feel tired, or combine it with crackers or tortilla to create a simple meal. Enough for your body to keep going without dropping. The biggest strength of peanut butter is slow and steady energy. It does not spike and crash like sweets, and in a prolonged situation, this stability matters more than temporary fullness. However, you need to use it properly because of its thick texture. Use it with water and in small amounts, especially for older adults or those who have difficulty chewing or swallowing. When used correctly, this is one of the most reliable energy sources you have. In the end, the issue is not whether you have peanut butter or not, but when your body starts to weaken, can you actually use it? Or are you just assuming it will help you? 11. Tuna salmon pouch. You may have protein at home, but that does not mean your body will keep its strength. In a prolonged power outage, what matters is not how much food you have, but whether you have something that can actually be used immediately when you have no stove, no time, and do not want to create any noise or smell. And that is exactly why tuna or salmon in pouches exists on this list. This is not a convenience item. It is a clean source of protein that helps your body not decline under prolonged stress. When you are not eating enough, when meals are no longer complete like before, protein does not just keep you full, it helps you maintain muscle, maintain strength, and sustain your ability to keep going. And this is where many people prepare wrong. They have protein, but cannot use it when they need it. An unopened pouch can last from 2 to 3 years if stored properly. And because it is not a metal can, it is lighter and less affected by the environment. You just need to keep it in a dry, cool place, away from direct sunlight. But there is one detail very few people notice. Every time you open a can of fish, It makes a sound louder than you think, especially in a quiet space. While with a pouch, you almost completely eliminate that. And that is a small but important difference. To preserve that value, you also need to avoid tearing or bending the package, because just a small tear can ruin the entire pouch without you realizing it until you open it. And in a situation with no alternatives, that is something you do not want to happen. The way you use it in reality is very simple. You can eat it directly or combine it with crackers, tortilla to create a quick meal, soft, easy to eat. No preparation, no cooking. And most importantly, it does not expose you like a hot meal would. One viewer once said something very real. In long power outages, what I needed most was not complex food, but something I could open and eat immediately. And that is exactly the true value of these fish pouches. Not because they are special, but because they work when everything else no longer works. You just need to remember one thing. Open it when you are ready to eat. Because once it is opened, you have no way to store it again. And without refrigeration, you do not get a second chance with this protein source. In the end, the issue is not whether you have it or not, but whether you are preparing things that can be used immediately, or you are still preparing for a situation that requires power you no longer have. 10. Canned beans. Canned beans are one of the most overlooked items until your body starts to slow down. It is not appealing, not special. But in a prolonged power outage, when you eat too many dry foods and lack fiber, your digestive system will no longer function normally. You begin to feel heavy, sluggish, and your energy is no longer stable. And that is when you realize, it is not that you lack food, it is that you lack what keeps your body running. That is the real role of beans. An unopened can of beans can last from 2 to 5 years, sometimes longer if stored well. And this is a major advantage. You do not need to cook, do not need preparation, do not need complex tools. You just open it and eat immediately, even when you are tired or have no time. And in a situation where everything slows down, that simplicity becomes something you can rely on. But what makes beans essential is not the calories. It is the way they keep your digestive system working. And when your digestive system is still working, your body is still continuing. This is something many people do not realize until they go through a few days of eating only dry foods. One viewer once said something very real. I stocked a lot of dry foods because I thought it would be more convenient. But after a few days, my body almost stopped. And that is the mistake many people make. They think having enough calories is enough, but the body does not work that way. To preserve that value, you need to store it properly. Keep the cans in a dry, cool place. Avoid high temperatures. Avoid direct sunlight. And especially, do not place them directly on damp or concrete floors, because moisture can slowly corrode the cans without you noticing. These small details do not make the food better, but they keep it safe until you need it. In reality, you do not use beans to eat until full, but to rebalance your body, you can eat them directly, or combine them with crackers, tortilla, or another protein source to create a simple meal. Soft, easy to eat, especially when your body starts to feel tired and can no longer handle hard foods. However, you need to check before using if the can is swollen, leaking, or has a strange smell when opened. That is not a small detail, but a sign the food is no longer safe. And in a situation without medical support, a small mistake can take away your ability to keep going. Beans are not the first thing you think of, but in 90 days without power, they may be the thing that keeps you from stopping. The issue is not whether you have them or not, but whether you have enough of these simple things that keep your body functioning. 9. Tortilla, what you think of as bread, is often the first thing to go bad. And that is why tortilla exists on this list. Bread molds quickly, breaks easily, and after just a few days without power, it almost disappears from your meals. But tortilla is different. It is not just a type of bread. It is a base. Something that turns whatever you have into a real meal. When you have no stove, no plate, and do not want to make noise, you do not need to prepare anything. You just need one tortilla. Put whatever you have on it. Beans, fish, a little peanut butter. And you have a complete meal. Compact, clean, leaving no trace. And that is something many people do not think about until they actually need it. This is where many people prepare wrong. They have food, but they do not have a way to eat it simply and consistently every day. Tortilla solves exactly that problem. An unopened pack of tortilla can last from a few weeks to a few months, depending on the type. And if kept in a dry, cool, sealed place, it can last longer than you think, unlike bread, which almost starts going bad as soon as you bring it home. But there is one detail very few people notice. Just a little moisture getting in. The spoilage process starts from the inside, not the outside, and you may not see anything until it is too late. You can pick it up, it looks normal, and still eat it without knowing it has already started to go bad. That is not a problem of the food, but how you store it. In reality, you do not use tortilla to eat on its own. You use it as a tool, a base layer that helps you combine everything. Lets you eat with your hands, no utensils, no washing, no signs that you have food, and in a situation where anything can draw attention, that simplicity becomes an advantage. You may have enough food, but still have no way to eat it every day. And that is when tortilla becomes important. Tortilla is not the most noticeable thing in your kitchen, but in 90 days without power, it may be what helps you turn what is left into a real meal. The issue is not whether you have enough food or not, but whether you have a way to live with it every day, or you are just assuming you do. 8. Canned fruit. Your body can endure hunger for many days, but after about 72 hours without enough water, everything starts to break down. And that is why this item is not food. It is water. In a prolonged power outage, when you no longer have a stable water source, when you are not sure when you will drink next, what takes you down first is not hunger, but dehydration, and canned fruit becomes one of the rare, safe sources you can use immediately. No processing, no boiling, no reliance on any system. Each can does not just give you fruit, it also gives you the liquid that comes with it. A bit of natural sugar that helps your body absorb faster, and a sense of normalcy that many people only realize when things begin to change. And that is what keeps your mind from slipping out of control. But this is where many people prepare wrong. They open the can, eat the fruit, and throw away the liquid, while that is exactly what their body needs most. An unopened can of fruit can last from 1 to 3 years, sometimes longer if stored properly. You just need to keep it in a cool, dry place. Avoid high temperatures and direct sunlight. And like other canned foods, if the can is swollen, deeply dented, or leaking, that is a sign you should not ignore. In reality, you do not use it as a dessert. You use it as an additional water source. You can eat it directly or divide it throughout the day to keep your body from dropping, especially when you are uncertain about your water supply. Because when you begin to lack water, you are not just thirsty. You start to lose the ability to think clearly. Your reactions slow down, and that is how you lose control without realizing it. And this is important. Not all types are the same. If you choose ones packed in heavy syrup, the high sugar content can make you thirstier afterward. while those packed in water or natural juice help your body stay more stable without causing a rapid drop. This is not something that helps you feel full. It is something that helps you keep your mind clear when your body starts to lack water. The issue is not whether you have food or not, but whether you are preparing enough of what helps you keep going, or you are just preparing for the feeling of being full. 7. Oats cold. You may already have oats at home, but that does not mean you will be able to use it when needed. Most people think oats must be cooked, must have a stove, must have hot water. And that is exactly the mistake that makes them overlook one of the most stable foods during a prolonged power outage. Oats do not need to be cooked, just water and time. When you have no stove, no gas, and do not want to create any smell, you can still soak and eat it cold. And that is why it works when other things become useless. The real role of oats is not fast energy, but stability. It does not spike and crash like sweets. It keeps blood sugar steady, helps you stay alert, and prevents you from dropping into exhaustion when you have to function for hours without a full meal. But this is where many people go wrong. They have oats, but no way to use it without a stove, or not enough water to soak it. A pack of oats can last from 1 to 2 years if stored dry, cool, and sealed. But once it absorbs moisture, it may not spoil immediately, but you will no longer be able to use it the way you need. And in a real situation, that is enough to make it useless. One thing you need to be careful about is water. Cold oats still require water to soak, and if you do not plan for that amount of water, you are storing something you cannot use. And when you are already exhausted, you will not have the patience to wait for it to soften like you think. In reality, you just need to add water, wait for a period of time, and you can eat it directly, or combine it with honey, canned fruit, to create a soft, easy-to-digest meal that helps keep your body stable. Oats are not the most noticeable thing, but in 90 days without power, it may be what keeps you from falling. And the real question is, do you actually know how to use it? Or are you just assuming you do? 6. Nutrition bars. You may be carrying a lot of energy, but that does not mean you can use it when you need it. Nutrition bars are one of the most commonly prepared items. Small, compact, convenient, no cooking required, and in theory the fastest source of energy. But in reality, things do not go the way you think. When you are tired, when you lack water, when your body is no longer in a normal state, you do not need something that has energy. You need something you can actually eat. And this is where many people go wrong. They have energy in their hands, but cannot get it into their body. Many nutrition bars become very hard when temperature changes, or too chewy when stored for a long time. And when you are tired, when you are thirsty, or for older adults, you will not be able to bite into it like you expect. At that point, the issue is no longer what you have, but what you can use. One thing you need to be careful about is temperature. If it is too hot, the bar can melt and separate. If it is too cold or stored too long, it can harden to the point where it cannot be eaten. You need to keep it in a cool, dry, stable place. Avoid constant temperature changes. And if possible, test the type you are storing. Do not wait until you need it to find out it does not work for you. In reality, nutrition bars are not a meal. They are a quick solution. You use them when you have no time, when you have to move, when you need to get energy into your body immediately. But if you choose the wrong type, or have never tried eating it when you are truly exhausted, then what you are storing is just energy on paper. In 90 days without power, What matters is not how many calories you have, but how much you can actually get into your body. And the real question is, you have energy in your hands, but can you actually use it when you need it most? 5. Nuts and trail mix. You may be carrying a lot of energy, but that does not mean your body will keep its strength. Nuts and trail mix are one of the most concentrated energy sources. Small, compact, no cooking required, can be eaten anytime. But their real role is not just calories. It is to keep your body functioning when you do not have full meals. A small amount at the right time can sustain you for hours, but only if you use it properly. And this is where many people go wrong. They think all nuts are the same. In reality, they are not. The fats in nuts are very easy to degrade when exposed to heat and light. And the dangerous part is, it does not spoil immediately. You still eat it, but the energy is no longer stable like before. You just feel a little more tired, a little slower. And that is how the body declines without clear warning signs. A bag of nuts can last from 6 months to over a year. But conditions are what matter. It must be dry, cool, sealed, away from high heat. Just one small storage mistake, and you are carrying something that has calories but no longer real value. One thing many people overlook: do not eat nuts when you are lacking water. Trail mix is dry, high in salt and fat. It can make you thirstier and cause your body to drop faster. Always pair it with water and eat in small amounts when you start to feel tired, not when you are already exhausted. And there is another reality. Many types of nuts are too hard. When you are tired, dehydrated, or for older adults, you will not be able to eat them like you think. At that point, the energy you carry becomes something you cannot use. A good mix is not the expensive kind, but the one you can actually eat in real conditions. Easy to chew, easy to digest, a bit of salt, and does not make your body react against it. Nuts are not the most noticeable thing, but in 90 days without power, they may be what keeps you going. And the real question is, are you storing energy? Or are you storing something you can actually use when your body needs it most? 4. Ready-to-eat soup. You may have a lot of food, but that does not help you if you do not have water. And that is why ready-to-eat soup is not just food. It is water and energy in one. In a prolonged power outage, when you do not have a stable water source, cannot cook, cannot boil, cannot treat water, what keeps you from collapsing is not how many calories you have, but how much water you can get into your body at the same time. And this is what makes ready-to-eat soup different. You can eat it cold, no preparation, no reliance on any system, just open it, and it is ready to use. But this is also where many people prepare wrong. They buy the kinds that require mixing, thinking adding water is enough. When there is no clean water, no way to boil, those become almost useless. And at that point, you realize it is not that you lack food, it is that you lack something you can use immediately. A can of soup can last from 2 to 5 years if stored properly. Dry, cool, away from heat and light. But there is one detail many people overlook. When you eat salty soup while lacking water, the salt itself can make you thirstier afterward. And if you do not control it, you will drop faster than you think. In reality, you do not use soup as a large meal. You use it to keep your body stable, divide it throughout the day to maintain both water and energy at the same time. This is not the most noticeable item, but in 90 days without power, it may be the only thing that keeps you going when everything else no longer works. And the real question is, are you preparing something you can use immediately? Or are you storing things that only work when you still have the conditions? 3. Dry crackers. You may have a lot of food, but if you do not have a way to combine it, you still do not have a real meal. And that is the role of dry crackers. It is not meant to be eaten alone, but as a base layer that helps everything work together. A little fish, a little beans, a layer of peanut butter. Everything becomes a complete meal with just one simple thing you can hold in your hand. In a prolonged power outage, when you do not want to make noise, do not want to wash utensils, do not want to leave traces, dry crackers become a clean, compact way to eat and maintain your daily rhythm. But this is where many people prepare wrong. The issue is not before opening, but after opening. Once air gets in, everything starts to change. The crackers do not spoil immediately, but they soften, lose structure, and become something hard to eat at the moment you are most tired. You open the pack in the morning. By the afternoon, it is no longer what you expected, and in a situation with no alternatives, that is not just uncomfortable, it breaks your entire meal. There is one detail very few people notice. Moisture does not make crackers go bad immediately, but it makes you no longer want to eat them. And when you no longer want to eat, you start eating less. And that is how your body declines without you realizing it. To keep it truly working, you need to seal it right after opening, keep it dry, avoid humid air, or divide it into smaller portions from the beginning so you do not have to open everything at once. These small details do not make the food better, but keep it in a condition you can still use when needed. In reality, crackers do not make you full. They maintain the structure of a meal, helping everything else work together. And in 90 days without power, that matters more than you think. And the real question is, are you storing food? Or are you storing something that loses its value the moment you open it? 2. Canned meat. You may have protein, but that does not mean your body will keep its strength. Canned meat is one of the very few real protein sources you can use immediately. No cooking, no preparation, and most importantly, no conditions required. In a prolonged power outage, when you are tired, when your body is no longer in a normal state, you do not need something that is rich in protein. You need something you can actually eat. And this is where many people prepare wrong. They choose dried meat, jerky. It sounds reasonable, but in reality, it is hard, difficult to chew, and requires water. You bite into a piece, and right at that moment you realize it does not go down. You have to force yourself to chew, to swallow, and your body no longer cooperates the way you think. When you are lacking water, when you are tired, when your body no longer has enough strength to chew and digest normally, what you think is an energy source becomes something that slows you down. And that is when you realize it is not that you lack protein, it is that your body is rejecting what you have. Canned meat solves exactly that problem. Soft, easy to eat, no need for water to get it down. A can of meat can last from 2 to 5 years if stored properly. You just need to keep it in a dry, cool place. Avoid high temperatures and direct sunlight. But there is one detail few people notice. Heat can cause the fat inside to change, and you will not realize it immediately until your body reacts differently. In reality, you do not use canned meat to eat until full. You use it to keep your body from declining. You can eat it directly, or combine it with crackers, tortilla, to create a complete meal. Soft, easy to eat, and does not force your body to work harder to digest. This is not a small difference. This is the difference between having protein and being able to use protein. In 90 days without power, what matters is not how much food you have, but how much you can actually get into your body when it is at its worst. And the real question is, are you choosing the right protein source? Or are you storing something that when you need it most, your body will reject? 1. Honey. You may have enough food, but still stop before it runs out. Honey is not just food. It is what keeps you going when your body and mind begin to decline. It does not spoil. It is almost untouched by time. You can keep it for years, and it will still be there, waiting for you, unchanged, not dependent on electricity, not dependent on any system. But its real value is not in the fact that it does not spoil. It is in how it affects you. When you are tired, when you no longer want to eat, when you no longer have the motivation to continue. A small amount of honey can deliver energy into your body almost immediately. No preparation, no complex digestion, and that is something many people only understand when they are truly in that state. This is not a meal. It is what keeps you from collapsing. Throughout history, honey was carried on long journeys not because it was tasty, but because it was one of the few things that could provide energy while keeping the mind stable under harsh conditions. In reality, you do not use honey to eat a lot. You use it at the right moment. A small amount when you begin to drop, when your mind becomes unclear, when your body no longer responds the way it used to, and that is when it works. But there is one thing you need to understand. Honey can crystallize, become thick over time or with temperature changes, and many people think it has gone bad, but it has not. With just a little gentle heat, it returns to its original state, and that is why it remains one of the most reliable foods you have. Honey is not what helps you live longer. It is what keeps you from stopping when you still have the chance to continue. And in a crisis, the difference is not how much food you have. It is how much longer you can keep going compared to others. You may have listened to this entire list and think you are fully prepared. But the truth is, preparation is not about having more. It is about understanding what actually helps you keep going. When things become unstable, what keeps you going is not quantity, but the right choice at the most critical moment. And that is something very few people are truly ready for. Not because they do not have it, but because they have never thought about having to choose. But you are different. You are here, and you are starting to see things more clearly. The next video will give you something very specific. If a nuclear attack happens tonight, you will have to choose the first 5 foods. Not what you like, but what helps you maintain strength, stay alert, and keep the chance to continue. Watch that video. Not because you are afraid, but because you want to be the one who is ready when others are still confused.